Hi lovelies and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about my top 7 all-time recommendations for historical fiction. Let's get started. Now I thought about ranking these, but I haven't ranked them because they're all 5-star books in my opinion, and I just think there's no point ranking them. So I'm not ranking them, I'm just gonna start. Right, now the first one is A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. Now, I read this book a couple of years ago and absolutely loved it. It is very, what's the word? It's very character driven. It's about the relationships with people throughout your life, and it's absolutely delightful. Now, it is set in Russia and it's set in 1922. Now, initially the first part is a little bit like heavy, slightly heavy with a little bit of sort of Russian history. Now, I don't know much about Russian history, but if you can get through that slight little bit at the beginning, I kid you not, this book is so delightful. And now I've forgotten his name. Oh, Count Rostov. Count Rostov. I can't speak Russian. Count Rostov is, he's so gorgeous, and he was so real to me, and I didn't want the book to end. And the only thing was, it just ended too quickly. I wish there was a little bit more at the end, but this is still a book that I will recommend till the end of my days because it's absolutely amazing. So if you love a book where there was a lot of character development and looking at the relationships that one person has. I haven't really explained the book. Now this book, so Count Rostov is actually sent or imprisoned in a hotel that he was living in prior to being imprisoned there, but then obviously he's put in a very small room. So he is imprisoned for the rest of his life to remain in this hotel. And it looks at the relationship that he develops over this time. And he's gorgeous. He's absolutely delightful. I love him to pieces. And he cares so much for the people in this hotel. And it is just delightful. I will forever think about this book. Anyway, it's absolutely delightful. That's the first one. Okay, now the second one. Now this cover is the Australian cover. I have seen the cover in, oh gosh, America, and I think it's really ugly. But I love this cover. Anyway, Mad Mabel by Sally Hepworth. Unbelievable. Now look, it is set in 2025, but the reason I have included it in this is it goes back to the 1950s. So it's about a girl called Mabel, and it looks at her life. So it goes from current times to the past to see how she's got where she is. Now, I don't want to read too much of this because I don't want to give it away. But it says, in 1959, at just 15 years of age, Mabel became the youngest Australian in history to be convicted of murder. She is known around the world as Mad Mabel, but is she mad? More importantly, is she guilty? Oh my gosh, love this to pieces. Absolutely loved it. And I read it so quickly, and I adore Mabel, and I kind of wish once again that it continued, but I absolutely love this book from beginning to end. I had no problems with the ending. I thought the ending was totally appropriate. And I've got on my Kobo one of Sally Hepworth's next books. So I'm really looking forward to reading other things by her. And I love the fact that she's an Australian author. But anyway, get yourselves a hold of this copy. I love this copy, by the way. I'll put up, if I can find the picture of the one I'm thinking of, I'll put it on the screen. It's ugly. I'm really sorry. I think it's ugly. Oh, this absolute hidden gem. This one I found before getting on a plane in, I don't even know when it was, lovelies. January? I can't remember. Anyway, getting on a plane, going interstate in Australia, found this. Haven't seen it in any of the bookstores now since I found it in the airport. This is The Mad Wife by Meagan Church, who I believe is, I think she's an American author, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, this was a cover sale for me, like most books are a cover sale, but look at her. Who doesn't like a 1950s housewife? She got me on the 1950s housewife thing. I've got a few, loving it. Anyway, I just want to read a little bit because I don't want to give it away too much, but it says Lulu Mayfield has spent the last 5 years moulding herself into the perfect 1950s housewife. Despite the tragic memories that haunt her and the weight of exhausting expectations, she keeps her husband happy, her household running, and her gelatin salads the talk of the neighbourhood. But after she gives birth to her second child, Lulu's carefully crafted life begins to unravel. I'm not saying any more, lovelies, honestly. Blew my mind. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Now, I've also done a psychology degree, done a couple of degrees, and this book, if you like psychology, it's not a thriller. I'm not going to say it's a thriller. It's more of a mystery. So if you like a bit of a psychological mystery, and even if you don't, I don't even care if you don't like it, you will love this book, okay? Particularly, especially if you're married with kids. Oh my God, totally relatable now. And this is the 1950s. Get out of town, mate. Loved it to pieces. Did not want that book to end. Would have loved if there was a part 2 for Lulu for me, but I miss her, love her, highly recommend it. Sorry, lovelies, I had to check when this was set. I couldn't remember, and it didn't say on the back. 1905. Now, this is The Housekeepers by Alex Hay. Okay. Now, I stumbled across this, haven't read anything of Alex previously. I've got his next book, which I think is The Queen of Fives. Now, it's not related to this book at all. They're all standalones. This is absolutely like nothing else I've ever read before. Now, it's a heist, basically. It's a heist, but it's a heist by the staff of a very rich lady. So it's perfect. It's like your perfect revenge. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely delightful. Now, let me just see if I can read a little bit of a blurb. A little bit. I'm not going to give you everything. It just says, as the clock strikes 12 on the night of the ball, Mrs. King will return to strip the house of its riches, right under the nose of her former employer. And she knows just who to recruit to pull off the impossible, a bold alliance of women with nothing left to lose and every reason for revenge. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's great, the premise of it is great, but it's hilarious. It's a funny read, and I loved it. And the only thing about this one too, Alex, I wanted it to a bit fuller at the end. I wanted to know what happened to all the characters at the end. I like to sort of know. I don't like to be sort of left guessing. Hands down, love it. Highly recommend it. Hilarious. Yeah. But if it would it be a mystery? No, it's a hilarious historical fiction with the best premise ever. That the housekeeper and all the servants are just going to get their own back. I love it. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait to read his next book, The Queen of Fives. Okay. Now, just over a couple of years ago, I still don't have great health, but anyway, the book that got me back into reading fiction is this book. Now, I picked this up just before I landed in hospital, which was just fate, really. And it was a cover buy, obviously. It's a cover buy. There always are. Lady Tan's Circle of Women by Lisa C. Now, this one is, oh gosh, when is this set? This is old, 15th century, okay? So I do love Asian culture, and this is about a Chinese lady who was trained in Chinese medicine at the time, which she really shouldn't have been because only men were allowed to practice. However, she was trained by both her grandparents. Then she was set up in an arranged marriage, which is what happened in those times. She was from a rich family. She got married, and she practiced her medicine in secret. It's absolutely amazing. If you love Asian culture, if you're interested in ancient medicines, family dynamics, you'll love this. You'll absolutely love it. I actually didn't want to read the end of the book because I didn't want it to end, so I kept trying to avoid it. last 50 pages, I was just like hanging on because I didn't want the story to end. I loved it so much. So I have read other books from Lisa and I love her as an author. So I'm thinking of doing a video once I finish her books of like a ranking video of her books, or maybe even just the books I've read so far. But anyway, this one I highly recommend. And how gorgeous is that cover? Gosh, cover buys get me every time. If you're writing a book, it's all about the cover, mate, that sells. And this one sold me. The Briar Club by Quinn. Oh my gosh. Absolutely amazing. Now this one is set, let me just double check, 1950. What is it with me with the 1950? It's almost like I was like, I don't know, maybe I was a 1950s housewife in a past life. But this is not about housewives. This is just, okay. I am going to just read what it says on the cover if you haven't seen it already yourself. 7 women, 1 house, 1 deadly secret. Mystery thriller, historical, gorgeous character development, gorgeous character relationships, and blow your socks off. You'll never get it in the end. Unbelievable, hands down. Love it. I have recommended this book so many times. It is gorgeous. It's about, okay, so like it says, 7 women, but they're in like a boarding house. So back in obviously in the 1950s in a boarding house, they could only have like all men and all women. So it's all women in this one. But it's about each of their lives. And so you learn about all their lives, but then how it all comes together and how they all support each other, and will they all support each other in the end. So it's absolutely gorgeous. Love it. I haven't read anything else by Quinn, but I do have a few other things. Like I think it's called The Rose Code. I've got a few other books on my TBR by her, but this one, loved it. I mean, one, it was a cover sale for me, but then it was just that little snippet. I didn't have to read any more. That sold me. Hook, line, and sinker. Now, the last book, I don't actually have the book because I read it on my Kobo this month. And it is called Mrs. England by Stacey Halls, I believe, from memory. I'm going to put up a little picture here. Now, this one is set, gosh, I think it's set early 1900s or late 1800s? Look, lovelies, I can't remember, my memory's terrible. However, it's about, they call her a nurse, not a nursemaid, because obviously I think a nursemaid is more someone who looks after babies, but she's a nurse. But like what we would call it, excuse me, like a governess, right? And she goes to work for wealthy families to look after their children. Now, this one is about, geez, Louise. This one is about a governess or a nurse that goes to work for the Englands. Now, there's something that's not quite right that's going on with this family, and she can sense it straight away. And it appears that something's not right with Mrs. England. So she looks after Mrs. England's children, and there are 4 of them from memory. And Mr. England's a very lovely man. He's very supportive of her, looking after the children. She does a great job. But there's something just not right there, and that's all I'm going to say. It is a great one. I gave that one, I think I gave it 4.5 stars, but I'm still going to include it in this because I think it's fabulous. Because what I did then is I then read another book by Stacey Halls, and I've got another one waiting. So I really liked her style of writing. I really liked her character development. I love the mystery behind it. I thought it was great, hands down. It's another standout. So they are my top 7 historical fiction recommendations. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of them. I'd love to know if you've read any of them and what you thought of them. And if you haven't read any of them and you're not sure what to comment, put what could we put? Is there like a clock emoji? I'm pretty sure there is, you know, like, for historical, for time. Put a clock emoji in the comments if you're not sure what to comment below. But I absolutely adore historical fiction and will always hands down recommend these books. So thank you so much for joining me today and listening to me ramble about my 7 top historical fiction recommendations. If you've had fun, I'd love it if you could give this video a like, hype, all the things. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.